Good morning, ASEAN. Freshen up your world, your thought, and your idea with us every weekday from 7:30 to 8 a.m. You're with me, Patsurang Desha Putharangsi.
And I'm also here with you, Nirasha Malisaklumi, and today is Thursday, 25th of July, 2013.
Yes.
We're approaching the end of the month soon, Kun Patsurang. So what's going on today?
So anyway, some unfortunate incidents happened yesterday as hundreds of Filipino protesters demonstrated in front of the Chinese consulate on Wednesday, demanding that China stop its claim and get out of disputed territories in the South China Sea. Protesters marched down a busy avenue in Manila's financial district with placards that read, "China stop bullying," and chanting, "Get out, get out." So one protester burned a Chinese flag. And the protests kicked off mass demonstrations held by West Philippine Sea Coalition, named after the term used by the Philippine government to refer to international waters on its western coast falling within its exclusive economic zone. The coalition, comprised of rights groups, civil society leaders, student organizations, and religious groups, aims to raise awareness about the territorial claims among Filipinos worldwide. One of the protest leaders, former Interior Minister Rafael Alunon, said they want the countrymen to be spurred into action. The coalition leaders stressed that they were not against the Chinese people and recognized their long history of friendship, but against what they called Beijing's lawless policy of intrusion, occupation, theft of natural resources, and intimidation. The Chinese consulate closed down on Wednesday anyway. So friction over the South China Sea, one of the world's most important waterways, has surged as China uses its growing naval might to more forcefully assert its vast claims over the oil and gas-rich sea, raising fears of a military clash. Four of the ASEAN, including Vietnam and the Philippines, have overlapping claims to China, as we all know. So rhetoric has risen in the past month, with Manila condemning Beijing for increasing militarization by sending ships to protect its fishing fleets, while Chinese state media warned that a counter-strike against the Philippines was inevitable if it continued to provoke China. So the Philippines is supporting an ASEAN-led binding agreement that will govern behavior in disputed waters. And China has agreed to hold consultations in September, coming this September in Beijing, when diplomats from China and 10 ASEAN member countries meet to discuss the implementation of the informal code signed back in 2002.
Vietnamese Deputy Prime Minister Nguyen Xuan Phuc has affirmed Vietnam's constant recognition of the importance of its cooperation with Japan. At a reception for the visiting Japanese Vice Minister of Internal Affairs and Communications, Tetsuchi Sakamoto, on Tuesday, Phuc praised the Japanese delegation for allowing Vietnamese officials to learn from its inspection and monitoring experience and addressing administrative complaints. Voice of Vietnam quoted that the cooperation between Vietnam's government inspectorate and Japan's Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communications will reinforce the Vietnam-Japan strategic partnership for peace and prosperity in Asia. Japan is Vietnam's most important economic partner. Economic trade, investment, cooperations, and official development assistance, or ODA, has helped fuel Vietnam's socio-economic development. Folks say that the two nations should expand exchange in improving market mechanisms, developing human resources and infrastructure. Sakamoto said that the friendly and cooperative relations between Vietnam and Japan has developed strongly in recent years, especially since the two countries signed the joint declarations on the strategic partnership for peace and prosperity in Asia in 2009.
According to economist Lam Mong, the Central Bank of Myanmar will continue to make currency interventions following their adoption of free-floating exchange rates to avoid speculator risks. Lam Mong said the free-floating move was positive, but that Myanmar would need to take action against high-risk investors. It is to protect its early economic activity. He said it would be dangerous to let the demand and supply theory determine everything at this early point. But Dr. Ong Tura, a chief executive officer at Tura Swiss company, also pointed out that Myanmar may need to intervene directly in the near future. He claimed that due to the large black market operating in Myanmar, authorities will not be able to use interest rates to indirectly control exchange rates like many other countries. Dr. Thurs said that the officials concerned have a responsibility to watch not only the exchange rates of the banks, but also the currency exchange rates in the black market. Others argue that privately owned banks in Myanmar are prepared for the free float exchange and will not react well to intervention. Tan Lewin, the deputy chairman of Kanboza Bank, told Mitsima that Myanmar's currency experts are more than prepared for the financial risks associated with speculators. The central bank has experts on currency policy making, and he actually believes that the central bank has enough global reserve currency to protect itself. Dr. Thurs claims that Myanmar's currency intervention should not be viewed as a threat, claiming that similar practices were accepted worldwide. And he cited the case of Swiss National Bank, pointed out that despite being one of the world's largest banks, they were still forced to buy large amounts of pounds upon sterling to jumpstart exports.
Now let's have a look at Cambodia. As we know that tourism is one of the major sectors supporting the Cambodia economy. So last year the country attracted tourists 3.58 million foreign tourists, which is generating $2.2 billion in the revenues. The Cambodian Minister of Tourism, Thong Khon, said on Tuesday that the July 28th national elections in Cambodia would not affect international tourist arrivals, and thanks to the country's second security conditions and political stability. He said that in general, the situation is good so far, and in Cambodia, they do not see any decrease in the number of foreign tourists ahead of the elections. The minister said in the first half of this year, the country had received 2 million foreign visitors, up 19% year on year, and among them, some 1.12 million tourists visited the 12th century Angkor Archaeological Park, up 6% year on year. The minister said that World Heritage Angkor Archaeological Park, which is the kingdom's largest tourism destination, receives between 5,000 to 7,000 foreign visitors a day. He added that the country doesn't see any drop of tourists to the site due to the election season. He said foreign tourists are confident in the country's good security and political stability. The minister said that he does not foresee any instability or unrest during the upcoming election because Cambodia people have better awareness of laws now, and there is a higher level of mutual understanding between the government and its citizens. He said Cambodia expects around 4 million foreign tourists this year, which is a 12% rise year on year. And the 5th National Assembly elections will be held this Sunday, this week, with about 9.67 million eligible voters. 8 political parties will compete in the polls. 2 major parties of them are the ruling Cambodian People's Party of the longtime Prime Minister Hun Sen and the opposition Cambodian National Rescue Party of the recently pardoned leader Sam Rainsy.
Malaysia's ruling party still retained state seats in Kuala Besut after the result in the first by-election after the controversial general elections in May. A win, experts said that the ruling party still retained its rural appeal.
The impact of the 13th general election is still being felt, with Barisan Nasional retaining its hold on the Kuala Besut state seat. Barisan candidate Tengku Zaihan Cikgu Abdul Rahman win over past candidate Azlan Yusof with a higher majority of 2,592 votes compared to the 2,434 votes won in May, firmly ground Kuala Besut as a Barisan stronghold. Barisan Deputy Chairman Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin describes the win as a perfect birthday present for Barisan Chairman Datuk Sri Najib Tun Razak.
We know where we are. We have made our own assessment of our capacity, but importantly we know that we will get a major majority support. This is true. If we win, that's important. Secondly, increased majority. Of course, we would expect to have more majority, but because of the fasting month, you know that things are slow. Even people who want to come out and vote also take their own time. Some thought the end will win, so they will not come out to vote, which happened now, less than about 80% only. So I think it's a question of most important is winning this by-election to increase majority. I think that's very significant as far as PN is concerned.
Muhyiddin says he is confident that all projects promised would be delivered and that Tengku Zaihan would be able to discharge his duties well. On his part, Tengku Zaihan thanked everyone for their support, especially the voters of Kuala Besut, and promised that he will be committed in serving the people in the state constituency. Both Terengganu Menteri Besar Datuk Seri Ahmad Said and Barisan By-Election Director Datuk Seri Idris Jusuf say the united support by all concerned ensured the win, and the increased majority shows that Barisan Nasional is relevant to all.
Coming up next after the break, let's update together on the flood situation in the southern part of Thailand, since right now it's the monsoon season. Stay tuned.
Well, floods continued in the south of Thailand, namely in the provinces of Chanthaburi, Trat, and Nakhon Ratchasima yesterday. Sorry, that's not South Thailand, but in the northeast of Thailand, affecting hundreds of residents. Downtown Chanthaburi was submerged in up to a meter of water, and authorities warned it would rise further. Schools in flood-hit areas in the province have been ordered shut until Friday as a precaution. Chachai Promler, Director General of the Department of Disaster Prevention and Mitigation, reported yesterday that more than 1,000 families in Chanthaburi's Muang, Makham, Kluang, Tha Mai, Lam Sing, and Kang Ham Miao districts were affected, and that 200 residents have been evacuated. In Trat's Muang, Khao Saming, and Lam Nop districts, up to 92 homes were hit by as much as 50-meter deep floods, while in the Nakhon Ratchasima's Muang and Bua Yai districts, 465 households had been affected. Well, water in the Nakhon Ratchasima has subsided after, and the roads are passable now. Chachai added that in the region has been dispatched with tools to speedily drain the water, help the affected residents, and assess the damage for compensation. In Vernong, days of heavy rain caused a meter-deep, 50-meter-long crack on the surface of a still under construction 4-lane Petkasem highway early yesterday.
Now let's continue with the Thailand, as the Thailand, the National Broadcasting Watchdog, announced yesterday that the first 30 digital terrestrial TV channels, or 24 commercials and 6 for public service, would take to airwaves on December 5th. Nati Sukonrat, chairman of the Broadcasting Committee of the National Broadcasting and Telecommunications Commission, said his panel would announce the final fees for each network provider by next month. The NBTC yesterday officially granted 4 licenses for digital TV network providers, namely the Royal Thai Army, MCOT, the Public Relations Department PRD, and Thai Public Broadcasting Service, or Thai PBS. The 4 entities propose different ranges of network leasing fees for standard and high-definition service to the broadcasting panel, ranging from the 1.5 million baht to 12 million baht a month. In the first 3 years, channel operators will pay fees on a sliding scales for network leasing with fixed rate set from the 4th year and beyond. However, Nati confirmed that the Broadcasting Committee would finalize network leasing fees after going through documents and investment plans provided by the 4 key operators to make sure these fees were reasonable, affordable, and fair for all bidders. To build awareness about digital TV broadcasting, the NBTC launched Nong Du Di as mascot for communications and activities across the country. By the end of next month, manufacturers and distributors of digital TV set-top boxes will get the green light to put their products on the shelves. The NBTC will hold the spectrum auctions for 24 digital channels for commercial purpose in October and plans to issue the first public TV license to Parliament House. And that's it, the time we have for today. Before we say goodbye, we're going to have a look at the tech savvy for today. We're going to have a look at the 5 coolest SMS applications in ASEAN. And that's all the time we have for today. See you again, same time, same place, same channel. I am Nirasha Maisaklami.
And I'm Patsurang Desha Putrangsi. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ
It may seem that mobile phone users worldwide would now opt for chat applications available on their smartphones, as opposed to the decades-old SMS or short message service. However, SMS is still the most widely used data application in the world. This is evident in ASEAN countries, where mobile phone users are still largely dependent on SMS. In the Philippines alone, 250 million SMS messages are sent each day on average, according to official figures. The country has a population of 94.8 million people. For businesses looking for opportunities in this market, this goes beyond simply sending ordinary text messages. Application manufacturers and developers are targeting hundreds of millions of potential users in Southeast Asia with the introduction of their smart SMS applications. The news website investvine.com explores what it calls the 5 coolest SMS applications in ASEAN. In the education field, the website looked into the Philippines, where the country's leading wireless service provider, Smart Communications, has launched what's called Smart Textbooks. This simply means textbooks and learning materials are put into a SIM card, and students read the material through SMS. The telecom worked with textbook authors and publishers for 6 months to turn official school texts into 160-character text messages. Instead of carrying heavy textbooks, Filipino students only need affordable feature phones. It is reported to help the lack of learning resources for the students. The application Textbooks won the Mobile Grand Prix for the Cannes Lions International Festival of Creativity this year. In Vietnam, the site looked at 2 SMS applications. First is a device with a SIM called S-Bike, created by C-Tech Viet. The device can be fixed on a motorbike and give information such as the GPS location of the motorbike. It can also activate an alarm as well as turn on and off the motorbike in case of theft. The application is said to have a big potential as Vietnam has as many as 33 million motorbikes and more than 140 million mobile phones. The other application in Vietnam is also used for transportation. One of the efficient ways to travel from Vietnam's big cities to the countryside is by bus. This application allows bus travelers to book their tickets through an SMS booking system, as developed by Vseri. After booking, users will receive their tickets in the form of an SMS. The SMS booking eliminates the need to queue for tickets and print them. Sendly in Singapore is a service that allows users to add SMS send and receive capability to their Android application. Sendly has worked with delivery services and online stores to make this new SMS service available. Through simple SMS, these stores would notify customers of their delivery or queue status. In Singapore, IT offers an SMS application called Unyu, which allows users to send fun stickers. They can send emoticons, avatars, and pop-up characters using SMS on BlackBerry or devices that operate Android and Java. Whether for education, traveling, or mere entertainment, these SMS applications have adapted from the simple use of text messaging to better suit the needs of today's users.